All right, we are live. We are live. Man, what just happened to my StreamYard? What? Where did that StreamYard just go? Interesting. Oh, here we go. All right, let me see if I can get connected. All right, let me see if I can get connected. And then let's see. All right, let's see if I can get connected. Let's see. All right, let's see if I can get connected. Let's see. Let's see if I can get connected. Let's see. Let's see if I can get connected. Let's see. Let's see if I can get connected. Let's see. Wow, really? Okay. Uh, oh shit! He said 1,000 bucks. All right. Having trouble with stream. If you enter the Instagram, then this is expected. It's not okay. I was wondering what happened to the Instagram. All right. I can't figure the Instagram thing out. This nigga just moved like that. All right, what's up, my people? What's up? We're gonna start with here today. So we're actually gonna start with, let's go to history. All right, where are we at? Where is this damn? Here we go. Okay. All right. Before I get started with that, let's kind of just get into the logistics of things, right? I come on here every day and I talk about the air quality. What's with the air quality? What's going on? How is it affecting us? And let me get Instagram here on board. One second here. Damn, I want to get Instagram on board. And fuck would I be able to do that? I mean, not Instagram, but TikTok. So I really want to get on board. It's TikTok. See how we gonna do this shit. Okay, this one dates. All right, we're gonna get Instagram set up a little later. All right, voila, that's set. And what we'll do is we're gonna go on TikTok. All right, so we are here. All right, so let me kind of get into a little bit of logistics of what's happening here. I'm going to go into the photos, and we are already here. This is beautiful. We're already set. All right, so what you are seeing right here, right now, I want to kind of explain to you guys a little something. I found out about the Pseudomonas that is in these clouds, and I'm not for sure if it's injected into the clouds. I'm not quite sure how the process completely is done, but I do know that they are testing and studying certain bacteria that can be that are ice nucleating forming. All right, ice nucleating forming. So right now, what we're talking about today here is I'm gonna go through this briefly, real quick, and then we're gonna kind of go into the interview with Shawn Ryan and Augustus Doricko. Um, and just kind of get to the shits here. All right. So this is actually a test that I did with AO scan technology. This is a very sophisticated, complex test here. This test was taken by voice, right? This particular test right here is done by AO scan, taken by voice, right? This was taken by voice, right? I did 20 seconds of my voice speaking it into an iPad, and I got all of this on the circulation of the body. All of this on the circulation of the body. Okay. All right. So we're going to kind of go through this just real quick, and then we're going to get to the interview with Shawn Ryan. I don't know if you guys know Shawn Ryan from off of YouTube, but he is, in my opinion, a CIA op, right along with Augustus Doricko. Now, what they were doing, what I believe they were doing was damage control. The interview with Shawn Ryan in August. Let me just kind of pull that up real quick. This interview right here, right? I believe that they were doing damage control. Let's turn it up. I'm surprised it's so low. Oh, here we go. I always like to look at backgrounds. So this is the guy here that they're trying to put the front on to get the heat off of their backs. So they use this young guy here. He's 25 years old. His company is fresh, brand new into the rainmaking and snowmaking department or agency, while he's trying to cover for the other agencies that has been there for over 100 years. Over 100 years. Okay. And that's what's going to be the problem for him. All right, give me 1 second here. One second. I'm getting Instagram on point. It's just going to be like that. That's just what it's going to be. All right. So now Instagram is on point here. We got Instagram in. And now let's get back to the photos because we want to take a look at my test here, right? All right. So I found out about Pseudomonas back in, I want to say 2022, maybe 23. This here is Pseudo aeruginosa. Now, this particular test I done with AO scan, right? In case you guys can see that, that's AO scan up there in the corner. All right, this is on the circulatory body. Okay, let's just kind of get, all right, 1 second. All right, so this is the circulatory system. This is what it's doing it off of, right? In the circulatory system, it says I have the rubella virus, which came from your MMR jabs or immunizations, the papillomavirus, the papillomavirus, in the West Nile virus. It says I also have Pseudomonas aeruginosa, chronic, and chronic stimulants. This is the circulatory emotional causes. This is a circulatory unstable feelings. I definitely have skepticisms, spiritual balance, circulatory vitals. I don't know what this is, but it says I have chronic HDLC. I need to definitely check that out. Okay, it also says I have left comment iliac vein. I'm not even sure where this is at. Thyroid artery left. Yes, I do have problems in the thyroid artery. Left dorsal artery of the penis. Yes. And right colic branch in right posterior in cerebral artery. You have to double check on those right there. All right, so this Pseudomonas came up quite a few times. Oh, that's right. I remember looking for this here. I have to look for this to see if I can actually get that. Let's see if I can actually get that. So Pseudomonas can actually make clouds. That is the ice nucleator. Jeez. Circulatory. Borrelia. This was some other ones here that I seen that was quite interesting in my test. Was these again, the influenza B, the Brucella canis, the Barilla Lyme cofactor. They gave me the chicken pox. They gave me the chicken pox. Back then, this is my endocrine vitals, right? And just 1 second here. One moment. Now, why is this slide not showing it up here? Interesting. Hold up one moment here. So I know I got you guys online, but it's not showing up on my Facebook. Oh, that's right. I gotta go back to, I have to go to the page itself. And it should be good. Here we go. Okay, now we're showing live. Now we're showing live. Now we're showing live. Oh shit, my bad. Hold up. Now we're showing live. Oh shit, my bad. Hold up. Now we're showing live. I gotta go back to the other screen and share entire screen. Yeah. How the fuck do I change that shit? Hide this shit. This shit's in the way. No. All right, I'm gonna have to reshare the screen. Bear with me. This is gonna take a while. Let's share the entire screen. All right. Okay. Back on. Voila. All right. Back here, we get to the photos. All right. So now everybody should be able to see what it is that I'm showing you guys here. Again, I'm going to go over this one more time. This is from AO Scan Technology. This was done by Voice. This gave a complete analysis of what's going on in my body and what's affecting me, what's resting on my nerves. And as we can see right here, these are a few things that I'm going to need to go through, right? A few things here that I'm going to need to go through. So I have to go through this. I still have to get this out of the body. I don't know if this is picking this up from when I had this as a child, but that's what it's saying. So this came from AO Scan Technology. Once again, all right. And that's the endocrine system. And as it says here, stimulant, smog pollution. I really have more of a, I don't know if it's a mid, lower back pain. It's one of those. I do have a seed oil issue. Epstein-Barr virus. Parainfluenza 1 and 2, secretion. Which, this is digestive. This is digestive. I don't have, yeah, that's on the digestive side. Damn, I can't share this shit. Okay, so that's the downside of actually doing the stream. I can't share. I can't share it to a group unless I'm just automatically having that posted to the group, which is cool. I can do that later. All right, so the reason I'm showing this here is to show you guys this here, not this one. Not this one. Is it this one? This is very interesting. It has the smog pollutions in here. So smog pollutions in the muscatelic, whatever causes. Vaccination, smog pollutions, cytotoxins, MSG components. This was in January. This test was done in January, so you guys will know. Cranial nerve, that was very important to know. Cranial nerve, olfactory nerve here, so you guys can see that. That's in your nostrils. Whenever that happens, whenever you got a problem in that area, you might have a lot of ghost allergies. That's what I call them. Come on, man. All right. Was it this one? No, wasn't digestive. Circulatory. Here, circulatory. Pseudomonas in the circulatory. So we're gonna get that. Pseudomonas. Respiratory. It says measles virus in the respiratory. We can see that there. Let me just kind of blow it up a little bit. This rubella virus is just kind of everywhere, huh? I'm gonna do a deep dive into that one day. Lymphatic. Let's see what the lymphatic is saying. Chicken pox, coronavirus, smog, HPV. Chickenpox, candida, Epstein-Barr virus, which is just another form of the chickenpox, adenovirus, coronavirus. This is sensory nervous causes. I need to check into this one. Definitely check into that one. The candida was running rapid in 2019, 2020. Actually, it's been running rapid still right now today. The candida albicanoids. So you guys can see that. This was all done by AO scan technology. So you guys know that. Solex. Solex, right at the bottom here, is what you'll be looking at. Solex. All right. This chicken pox come from, man, when I was probably 7, I think. I can't even remember what age it was. And that's how they get us. It's these things will be long time ago. We won't remember the shit. And next thing you know, we have all types of issues. Boron. Where am I getting boron from? Urinary, mumps, West Nile, yellow fever, mumps virus. How? I really have to figure this shit out. The Pseudomonas was in here multiple times, just not pulling it up. I think circulatory, no, not this. Digestive, connective tissue, no. Digestive, and no. What else did I see? Pseudomonas. Cranial nerve. No, no, that's not it. That is definitely system. No, this one. No. Which one is this one? Oh, skin. Not that one. Chromosomes. No. And no. Wait a minute. What's this? River blindness. God damn. It's a lot of shit on here. Oh, I gotta figure out this valley fever. I was just seeing that. So, okay, so what happens is, let me kind of explain to you guys what actually happens. These things are like bacteria. But what they do is they biofilm. It can be a small amount. What happened is it'll biofilm, create a capsule, right? Create a capsule, it'll biofilm in your system, and it will just live there as a host. It will send off toxins. It will house parasites and other toxins and bacteria. It'll collect all of this stuff into a capsule, right? When it does that, it can potentially turn into something like a tumor later. And actually, if it's a capsule, it's going to turn into a tumor pretty fast. These things that we don't know is happening until it starts to get out of hand. That's why that theory that Yaki speaks about, that your body makes the tumor, is just misleading. It's false. It is completely false. That's why they let him talk about it. It is 100% false. What's creating the tumor is the biofilming of bacteria, fungus, candida, and anything that's synthetically man-made to create these biofilms within the body, right? Most of the stuff that we're having, that we're dealing with, has been man-made. Mostly everything that we've been dealing with has been man-made. And let me just see here. No, I know Pseudomonas came up quite a few times. I just can't find it on here. Um, this is a very comprehensive test. I only recommend it for people that's ready to see what's going on in the body. And I do have a friend that can actually do this test for you, right over the phone. You don't actually need to be present. In 20 seconds, it's 10 seconds each time. There's a basic test that's done for 10 seconds, and then this is the overall comprehensive test that's done. It gives you a little bit of everything. Okay. Now let's get to ice nucleating clouds. Now I want to see if I can pull up All right, so just off of that right there, the beginning question and just coming into this, like this, what he just said right there, this is how you know that this is what we call damage control. This is damage control. All right. This guy name is Augustus, which is named after Julius Caesar. Kind of looks like Julius Caesar a little bit too. But this is what you call damage control. All right. And as we go through the interview, they're going to talk about guest background and regulations. They're going to talk about experiments. They're about to get into the question of Operation Popeye right now. That shit. Speaking. You 898,000 views. This guy is called. He is the CEO of Rainmaker. He makes rain, snow. I'm not quite sure what else he does. This was done. This interview was done a month prior to the Texas flood. So this interview was done a month prior. This is why I called this interview damage control. Now they just did a recent video, interview 2 days ago, which will talk about what happened in Texas. All right. So because they're blaming him because he was doing cloud seeding 2 days prior to the Texas flood. His company was the did the cloud seeding 2 days prior. But we can go right here and let's just take a look. How long does cloud seeding stay in the air. Cloud seeding agents typically remain in atmosphere for a limited time, usually less than a day. The exact duration depends on the factors like seeding method, agent's use, silver iodide, dry ice, particle set, condensation nuclei, water vapor, duration, atmosphere, don't suspend. Indefinitely, they either fall to the ground as precipitation, rain, immediate effects. Seeding can sometimes produce immediate effects when aged directly in the cloud seeding. Noticeable. All right. That's one thing that we looked at here. That's coming from the AI. But he always says silver iodide. So we're gonna go, how long does silver iodide? I didn't put how long, but that's okay. No, that's not what I got. That is not what I got. Okay, so factors like cloud seeding, how long is generally can take anywhere from a few hours, from a few minutes to a few hours for the product to incorporate into precipitation or dissipate. Now, dissipate does not mean disappear. Okay, understand that. That does not mean disappear. In physics, that just means it changed form, changes energy. Okay. If the particles on the droplets form icicles. This is not what I got. Nah, this is not what I got in the air. Let's go to my photos and let's go pull up actually what it said. Because it definitely tried to get up out of that. Here, is it here? And I forgot what question I asked it, but here we go. So now we have it. It says, we can see we have two different answers. Oh, excuse me. All right. We have two different answers. We will go back to where we just asked that question. It says silver iodide used in cloud seeding typically remains airborne for a relatively short period through exact duration varies. Factors like seeding method, cloud conditions, weather patterns influence how long the silver iodide particle stays suspended. All right, now we're going to go here. And it says here, silver iodide particles used in cloud seeding can remain in the atmosphere for varying lengths of time, potentially from a few hours to a year or more. The duration depends on the factors like the seeding method, atmospheric conditions, and whether particles are carried away by wind or precipitation. While some effects of cloud seeding can be observed almost immediately, others, particularly those related to precipitation, can delay and last for extended periods. Here's more of a breakdown. All right. So it looks like something had changed over. Particles can carry away by winds or other concentrations within the Pacific area will diminish over time, or they'll just basically lay down and become a weaker form. It doesn't really diminish. All right, delayed effects of cloud seeding. Some researchers indicate that cloud seeding can have delayed effects with noticeable changes in precipitation patterns or cloud behavior occurring days or even weeks after the initial seeding. So I put that up here to show you guys how much this person is about to sit up here and lie to you. And you can always get the answer back from when you click these links here. I will have to go into my phone, which is one of the phones that I'm using right here. I won't be able to do it on here. Maybe if I'm able to get that search again, it's going to depend on that. I forgot how I think I worded it, the silver iodide particles stay in the air or particulate. It was somehow I got this to come up, but as you can see, it did not come up for me again here. But let me just see if I can let's just see if I can play with it. Yeah, see, there it goes. It changes again. It changed again. It changed again. When you ask certain things, that's why you have to keep asking questions. Keep asking questions because certain words, this is a word game. Come on. Why you keep doing that? This is a word game. Silver iodide particles released in the atmosphere for cloud seeding can remain airborne for varying durations, depending on factors like size, wind conditions, and whether they are activated or not. They can be immediately activated or remain suspended for several days. Okay? This is what we're seeing right now in Chicago right now. It's suspended right now. It appears to be sunny because the sun is shining through the smog, the haze. It's hazy in Chicago right now. Haze does not mean a clear sky. All right, so let's get back to the interview because he's about to start lying. All right. Okay. So he just mentioned some things there. And what the fuck? Oh my goodness. Excuse me, y'all. This thing's supposed to be on public on on Facebook, and this shit is on private, and then I can't even change the shit. No wonder why I'm not getting nobody on fucking Facebook. How did the hell did that happen? Is it the same thing for YouTube? What's going on? Yeah, I'm live. Man, okay, what the fuck happened? What happened? Only people. Man, I don't want that to happen. So how do we change that? Is that what it is though? Like, damn, I didn't expect this shit to do this. All right, so how do we all right, let's just invite people. Uh, fuck. I did not know that this shit was going to do what it's doing right now. It is what it is. Damn, how do I get that to do right? It is what it is. All right, see, I don't want that to be a private event, so I'm gonna figure out how to change that on that tool. Oh man, this is wow. I really wanted that to be live on Facebook, but I don't know if I can if I'm able to do that. Is it live on? It should be public on YouTube. I can't believe I did that. Yes, okay. 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 Oh, all right. All right. So we're back. All right. Yeah, we come across the. So we're back. All right. I just shared the Facebook. Let's see what it says. All right, that's all I can do right now. All right, cool. All right, I'm back. All right, let's get this crack. Okay, so let's pull up We pulled up this here, silver iodide particles. They can stay in the air. They can be activated or remain suspended for several days. Actually, it can be longer than that, because right here it says on the way that I entered it in on this particular one, it says it can stay potentially months to years, depending on how much is injected. So let's just say, because these people inject this stuff a lot. Is it always silver iodide particles? That one, I don't know. That's the only thing. We do not have the proper reports to understand what they are injecting into our air, into our skies. We need proper reporting on that. But it seems that the United States government in every state is down for this. Okay. It seems that they're down for the stratospheric aerosol injections or geoengineering. They try to split it up to make it seem like they're one is less toxic than the other, but they're all bad for you. It's all bad. Nothing good will come from what they're doing because of what they're using. Okay, so let's look up ice nucleating bacteria. Very important to look this up. The words are very important to know. Why? Because this is how they hide things. This is so you won't know what's what. See, if we're constantly just looking for one thing and not really using the words that they use, because this is where I get it from. When I start looking up things, I see all ice nucleating. All right, let me see if I put that in and see what else I can get up. So we have snowmaking, right? He just talked about snowmaking. Snowmaking is some ice nucleating A. What is A? What does A stand for? Could be what does that stand for? Ice nucleating, whatever. All right. We just know this ice nucleating. Bacteria can cause frost damage to plants. One of them that I find that was getting on my plants was the Pseudomonas syringae. Now, this is how you have to start breaking things down, right? Pseudo means false. Monas means unit. Syringae means lilac. They found this on the lilac plant. So this word right here means nothing. This, you can just throw this word away. This is just where they found it. Like Pseudomonas aeruginosa just means the color of it. It just means the color. It's a blue-green color. That's all aeruginosa means absolutely nothing. You want to focus on this word right here, Pseudomonas. This is how they get us. This is how they play with us. This is how they play the word game. Okay? Pseudomonas, period, is ice nucleating. Okay? And I want to say that they found this out throughout the wars of them using biological warfare. They make it seem like, oh, we found it on the lilac plant. Okay, but where? Was it around an area that you guys were just doing some type of war? And this was found back in the late 1800s. All right. I've never pulled this article up before. This is my first time pulling up today, so we're both going through this here. I just want to see if they have other bacteria in it, because what they have done. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right here, they do. Enterios, bacteria, lysine, bacillus. No. Stop. That's not it. That's not it. I'm sorry. Totally not it. Where's the other bacteria? This is them playing around with the syringae the Pseudomonas syringae. We're looking for the other bacterias. They're not listening here. Let me be a little more direct with the AI. All right. This is very important too. Bacteria isonucleating proteins, because they are proteins, right? Spiking your proteins. They're not giving me everything I need to know here. I knew they was gonna shut me off on Instagram. These people weird as hell to me. They just shut down my TikTok. That's okay. They just shut down the TikTok live. That's how much they watch you on there. And yeah, it's all good. All right, so all right, let's get to it. Let me ask the right question. I'm gonna tell it to list all. List all isonucleating bacteria. Isonucleated device group. Other species. This is very important to know because I have not. This is the first time I pulled this one up, so these are new to me. So Dr. Delbert Blair talked about Pseudomonas fluorescens. Another that E. coli could be isonucleating bacteria. Let's go to Science Direct. I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break in just a second. All right. I'm gonna take a bathroom break and I'll be right back. Oh shit. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right, so we have okay. Clouds affect the global climate by regulating the energy balance of the surface of the Earth system by absorbing, reflecting, and scattering solar and terrestrial radiation. And clouds, ice crystals play critical role in modulating cloud microphysical properties and chemical composition in the troposphere. Precipitation formation processes, cloud radiative forces, cloud electrification, and indirectly influence the global hydrological cycle and climate change. All right, so we are looking for ice nucleating bacteria. All right, so they're talking about the phases of the water coming back up, get mixed in, blah blah blah. They're showing this is ideally what they're saying is happening, but we're creating this now, so we're not. It's not just happening by itself. All right, so here is some of the bacteria. It's very important to know the Pseudomonas fluorescens. I've Mortarella alpine. Interesting. Okay. Here we have a list of, okay, this is complication of laboratory measurements of freezing temperatures of biological and non-biological particles. Interesting. Pine pollen. It's still not giving me. I can't believe it gives me a hard time pulling up the information. So we do have fluorescence. All right, so this is just some of your cloud making materials, because he's going to use the word materials within this video. And I actually have a screenshot. Damn, I got signed out. That's wild as hell. Damn. I'm certainly not going to do that here. Give me one moment here. All right, we're back. Okay. So I do have that, in here. Let's just see if I can find it real quick. What is this? No, that's not it. All right, so let me see if I can find this ice-nucleating bacteria. This is a guy that we're speaking about today, Rainmaker. These people make it rain. It's very toxic to the body. Um, as you can see right here, this is purple air. This is very toxic. It should be under 45. All right, I'm not going to talk about it there. We're looking for the ice-nucleating bacteria. Did I put that in the album? One. Okay. Okay. Pseudomonas can be found in the genital tract. All right, so we're gonna go back. Not it. Let me see if it's in my albums. Let me see. I think this is it. All right, so as this one here says, bacteria diversity is more rare between sampling dates, since absence of cloud due to a wider range of meteorological conditions within single air masses. Cloud situations are more heterogeneous due to higher portions of low abundance of taxa. Some taxa are found more abundant in clouds compared to clear situations, such as Staphylococcus, Acetobacter, Cochura, in hydrobacteria or converges like bacillus. All right, so these are a few things that are in the clouds that can be found in clouds. That's all I had in it. More assistance. Blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through my notes and look for this shit. Let's get on to the. All right, let's go do the research on that. called Project Series. Oops, in 1908. Earliest attempt word modification of U.S. mention and the search results happened in 1924 when Professor Rummerling Cafe of Harvard University tried to modify the weather by dispensing charged sand from an airplane. However, the first cloud seeding experiment was done. Okay, that's the first cloud seeding experiment. Five cans of tinge. Okay, okay. Well, who made it rain? Who made it rain? 1908 and caused a flood. Is this it? No, you're killing me. I think it was no. Is this it? I think this is it. George McJunkin, the discovery that changed American archaeology. All right, on August 27th of 1908, small town of Folsom, population 250, northwest New Mexico, was hit with by a cloud burst and drenched with the rapid heavy rain. This storm caused the worst flooding ever recorded in the area. First-hand accounts in the newspaper describing Herring Night, water violently rushed through the streets, flood homes, businesses, as people clung to furniture, climbed their roofs to stay safely. 17 people died. Water still flowed. One resident in the Folsom area was an African American boy. Telling their life stories. Remarkably was born. Man, what is this? This ain't it. All right, so let me let me see if I can pull it up. No, that ain't it. That's not what I want to put up. That's my shit. What? Let's go back here. All right, this is him right here. poo-pooed the suggestion that he was a rainmaker. I merely gave nature a little assistance, the Scottish claimed. The county solemnly drew up a contract guaranteed Hatfield um, fees ranging from $50 to $700. Long the police reign. Never once did the rainmaker fail to deliver. Eventually, his fame spread east. Studied the weather charts. On the only 27 days left to run on the contract, Sandy experienced the mightiest downpour it ever known. It was filled with 18 million gallons of reservoir, which had never been more than the third or fourth before for the first time since. All right, so that's who this was. And this was done in when? Okay, so the first Rainmaker was pretty much in 1903. Charles Hatfield. All right, so Charles Hatfield was born Fort Scott, Kansas. Young man growing up in public relations. Hatfield saw a newspaper to produce rain. Hatfield's brother Paul built the evaporated tower. Okay, so they did evaporating tower. So they did not do cloud seeding, but they made it rain with evaporating tower. It was interesting. Never looked at the story before. All right, so skip that. Ah, you hear that? You see that? That was very interesting to know. So essentially, it actually snows, but if it's warm enough, it's raining. It'll melt it into rain. Oh, that makes fucking sense. Okay, let me rewind that again. This is how you do it. I kicked off the library. I'm back taping. I know they missed that video stuff, so grew up an atheist, but he's a Christian now. That was cap what they just did right there. Just so you guys know that that was, that they believe that Jesus saved their life. And yeah, that was just. I'm just not even gonna go down the road. That was just. You can just tell by the looks on their face. That was just cap. We trying to figure out what is that. Okay, so we see all the liquor here. What is that? Is that an owl? I can't tell. Hmm. Maybe I'll pull it up on the Samsung later and see if the Samsung can figure out what that if the AI can figure out what that is. So he's got I always like to look at the background to see what's in the background. I see he's a promoter of liquor. All right. Yeah. opportunity right there. That's an investment opportunity right there. Like just getting ahead of the, or falling in line with what they're doing in space, and I guess that's definitely an investment opportunity. Um, Let me see if I can pull up this information I was looking at earlier. Hmm, I think it was this one. 48 terrifying times deadly chemicals were used during biological warfare. 90,000 dead, 1.3 million wounded. Chlorine gas and phosgene and mustard gas contribute to nearly 100,000 deaths during the years from 1914 until 1918. Chlorine and mustard gas are both irritants and can be lethal at high doses. They can cause severe burns, blindness, and other injuries to those who survive attacks. The phosgene became a weapon of choice for Allied power during World War One. This colorless and nearly odorless gas was so stealthy that many soldiers did not know they had been afflicted until days later when their lungs filled with fluid and they asphyxiated. That is wow. They're still using this shit right now. Promise you that. And he was an advocate of chemical warfare and planned to use it. Exploding shells filled with toxic gas to be dropped in northern Russia. The number of casualties remains unknown. Hmm. M devices. Red Army on peasant rebels and civilians in 1921. Unknown casualties. The Tamvom Rebellion was a peasant revolt against the Bolshevik regime, which had just gained power to Russia. The Quell Rebellion deploying chemicals to fall, many people died, chemical attacks. Hmm. Spanish military against Rife tribe in Morocco. Hmm. Which one did they use? Became the first became one of the first powers to authorize use of chemical weapons against civilian population. Its primary use of chemical weapons was in 1921 between 1924 and 25. It deliberately targeted civilian populations. An estimated 1,000 people died. But what did they use? What did they use? I need to find that because this shit is still being used, in my opinion. I want to know what the fuck did they use. What chemicals did they use? You see, here we go. Look, the riff was rich in high grade iron ore, which can be easily extracted via open pit mining. So they were down for the resources while they killed those people. So you don't think we're still doing that today? Well, not. I mean, the Spanish kind of took things over here, right? France and things like that. These were Caucasoid people, people of Spain, took this area over. Forces involved. I want to know what chemicals did they use. Hmm. The Bananista. Man. Okay. Is this it? The Spanish army discreetly used phosgene, diphosgene, chlorophyrin, mustard gas, also against civilian population markets, rivers, signed, while Spain signed the Geneva Protocol in 1925 with prohibited use of chemical biological weapons. It was not illegal in internal conflicts. Interesting. Some weapons remain reason for widespread cancer occurrence. Example, toxic gas from showing strong mechanical cardiac defense, heavily worldwide abnormal cancer rates. Interesting. Apart from example, 20, Hmm. Okay. I guess that was it. Okay. So these are very. I need to figure those out. I'm gonna go down that road one day. Just not right now. Japanese weaponized biological agents. Their vivisection live pattern, which the procedure in which a live pattern would be cut over to examine the effect of an infection that the doctor delivery given a person. The military water supplies of with chloral and douse entire areas with bubonic plague to intentionally make people sick. They claim to be performing medical experiments in a scary harbinger in Nazi Germany. So this is the first time they used the bubonic plague, the Yersinia pestis. Mm, mm. Wow, lot of shit going down. From 1940, the living time bioagents to be multiplies and attacking them, die from the damage. To know okay. Gas, nasty gas chamber. So, whatever. Maybe care about that. Government organized air raid, destroyed vessel, carrying water to large pounds of mustard gas. It rained down mustard gas, causing hundreds of people to become hurt. Damn. Jewish vengeance against former Nazi soldiers. Mass arsenic poison. Tuesday, nationwide attack failed. Terrorists laced 3,000 loaves of bread. Wow. That's wild. Agent Orange. Francis Vietnam jungle is too thin finished with so known as the effects had not been thoroughly tested, results in the brain violation was still the same day. Cause immense injuries. So we're looking at chemical bio warfare. Okay, so they use nerve agents and on villages and other civilian targets. Drop phosphine bombs into the villages. Less than 100 people died in an attack. The wounded effectively wiped out the village. Okay, what is becoming known as the Third Indo-China War, an almost undocumented event that began in 1975 and continues to this day with sporadic uprising of the Laotian and Vietnamese militaries, uh, unleashed tons of chemical agents. Citizens of Laos, part of the area known as Indochina. Many refugees fled to Thailand. Chemical agents were used. Incident became known as Yellow Rain. I think we just had some of that here in Chicago. The investment came up as inclusive found that the Soviet Union, which was aiding the communist regimes of Laos and Vietnam, had probably not engaged in chemical warfare. Vietnamese military is or unleashed chemical weapons on these forces of Cambodia. There's this mass suicide. People's Temple. Damn. Yeah, I remember Jim Jones. Yeah, Jim Jones, crazy ass. To drink Kool-Aid laced with cyanide. Fucking Jim Jones. Anthrax. I know some people remember that, hearing some of that in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Anthrax is a bacillus bacteria. in every area. Interesting. The spring of the egg and salad bar dressings. Oh wow. Iran military against Iraq soldiers. Yeah, this is wild, man. There's just so much to go over through this that it's just too much. What's this? Japanese civilians. Mm. Somebody released it in the subways. Man, these chemicals is something else, man. Which one is this? Anthrax attack, 2001. I remember hearing that. But it took his own life. That was the anthrax attack, military against terrorists. Fentanyl base incapacitation agent. Mm. Chinese criminal poison foods at high school. What do they use? They poison the rat poison. God damn. But rat poison use sulfur against soldiers and civilians. Poisonous fumes of sulfur dioxide poured out into both soldiers. Mm. Sulfur mines. Oh wow. Loaded with nerve gas, syringe, which can be fatal in small doses, failed to explode properly. Two soldiers were injured. Had it exploded, it is intended the syringe would have caused massive damage to both military and civilian populations. Ooh, that's how bad that shit is. Damn. Here's the mustard gas. Penetrating types of crime. Police. Chlorine gas. Cement tank. Level 2 wound damage caused mustard gas, skin burn, blindness, and lung damage. Damn. No one died. Pesticide. Experienced permanent injuries. Damn. Hair cells. Pesticide attacks. Pesticides. Right now it's pesticides. Marine bombs. Marine bombs. That is wild as hell to me. This shit is wild. All the chemical attacks. Sulfur dioxides. All right. That was enough on that one. Yeah, this is pretty huge right here. I'll try to go through this and pick out some another time. I'm going to end this right here, though. Guys, have a good evening. It's already been 2 hours. I'll be back probably